Good morning, Dr. Madeleine Rahayu, specialist of ear, nose, throat, head and neck surgeon, as our facilitator, and Dr. Komang Andi Dwi Saputra, specialist of ear, nose, throat, head and neck surgeon, as our evaluator. Today, we from SGDP 10 will present our student project with the title of Middle Ear Barotrauma. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Mahesa Ajisaka Aryasa, with the last three digits of my student number is 230. This is SGDB 10 member that are listed on the slide. Now we will begin our first chapter, that is introduction. Now we are moving to the background section. Ear barotrauma or otic barotrauma is a disease which damages the tissue of the ear due to the secondary to inadequate pressure equalization between gas-filled body space and external environment. Middle ear barotrauma is the most common complication of patients that are doing clinic hyperbaric oxygen treatment and diving. There is significant variability and the prevalence of ear barotrauma and middle ear barotrauma reported in literature, ranging from 2% until 82%. Report varies in significant differences in gender, age, allergies, type of diving, water temperature, season, smoking history, septal deviation, and previous history of otitis media. Various pathological process and numerous symptoms rendering it prone to misdiagnosis middle ear barotrauma. In such condition, obtaining a patient history taking from either patient or family member may become necessary. Through this source can sometimes be unavailable and unreliable. Therefore, healthcare provider need to understand the sign and symptom associated with middle ear barotrauma. Understanding the global impact of this condition hold important significance as it can serve as a guide to clinical decision. Therefore, the purpose of this paper is to provide a more detailed explanation of clinical classification of middle ear barotrauma. Now we are moving to the problem formulation. Based on the background information explained earlier, the formulated problem are as follows. What is middle ear barotrauma? What is the epidemiology of middle ear barotrauma? What is the etiology and pathogenesis of middle ear barotrauma? What is the clinical manifestation of middle ear barotrauma? What is the risk factor of middle ear barotrauma? What is the diagnosis and differential diagnosis of middle ear barotrauma? What is the treatment and prognosis of middle ear barotrauma? And last, what is the prevention of middle ear barotrauma? Now we are moving to the objective of this paper. First, general purpose, to gain an understanding about middle ear barotrauma. Second, the specific purpose, to understand the middle ear barotrauma, to understand the epidemiology of middle ear barotrauma, to understand the etiology and pathogenesis of middle ear barotrauma, to understand the clinical manifestation of middle ear barotrauma, to understand the risk factor of middle ear barotrauma, to understand the diagnosis and differential diagnosis of middle ear barotrauma, to understand the treatment and prognosis of middle ear barotrauma, and then to understand the prevention of middle ear barotrauma. We are moving to the benefit of this paper. There are multiple benefits that can be gained by a medical student from doing this student project assignment. First of all, students are able to understand the middle ear barotrauma more in depth as one of the basic competencies of this block. Furthermore, students are able to comprehend the definition, epidemiology, etiology, risk factor, pathophysiology, diagnosis, prognosis, management, and prevention of middle ear barotrauma as one of the conditions that are often found in the medical field. Finally, by apprehending middle ear barotrauma, medical students are more exposed to the medical world and able to diagnose and treat middle ear barotrauma correctly. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kristen Edgar and my last digit of student number is 045. Next, I will present the definitions of middle ear barotrauma. Barotrauma itself is an injury caused by a difference in pressure between the inside of the body and the outside or external. Even though barotrauma can occur in all parts of the body, the most common is middle ear, where the eustachian tube cannot open to balance the air pressure from the outside. So this can cause a lot of hearing problems, one of which is bleeding in the ear. Ear barotrauma is tissue damage due to an imbalance between air pressure in the middle ear and environmental pressure, where water pressure increase or decrease. The extreme pressure changes that occur when diving have the potential to cause physical damage to the tissue layers in the cavity, especially the middle ear, which is the body cavity most at risk of experiencing barotrauma. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Purubina Prakirana with last digit of student number R033. So I will be explaining about the epidemiology of middle ear barotrauma. Middle ear barotrauma commonly occurs due to changes in ambient pressure in activities like scuba diving, commercial diving, and hyperbaric oxygen treatment. the prevalence itself ranging from 4.1 to 82%, with the occurrence from 10,000 samples reaches about 0.35% with 1.3% fatality rates. In Indonesia, up to 2008, there is approximately 1,028 traditional divers, which 93.9% experience clinical symptoms related to diving-related illness, and 39.7% of those divers experience hearing disorder, ranging from mild hearing loss to deafness. That's all from me. The next part will be explained by my friend. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Evanyadini Natalie Pranoto with the last digits of student number 166, and I will explain about the etiopathogenesis of middle ear barotrauma. So middle ear barotrauma is caused by a failure to equalize pressure between the middle ear and the external environment. It can be triggered by an increase in ambient pressure, as described by Boyle's law, which states that increasing pressure leads to a decrease in gas volume in air-containing body cavities. This pressure change can occur during activities like diving underwater or ascending in an airplane or hyperbaric chamber. It can also result from blunt trauma or blast injuries. Equalizing pressure is crucial, and the eustachian tube helps facilitate this process. When external ambient pressure rises, the pressure in the external auditory canal increases, causing a decrease in gas volume in the middle ear space, leading to negative pressure. Failure to equalize can result in issues like mucosal edema, hemorrhage, and perforation. And there are two types of middle ear barotrauma, which are descent barotrauma and ascent barotrauma. Descent barotrauma is more common and occurs as a diver descends, experiencing increased external pressure. And for ascent barotrauma, on the other hand, occurs when a diver ascends, leading to an expansion of air in the cavities. And if this air cannot escape due to an obstruction, it can result in sudden pain and the risk of venous embolism. Maybe that's all from me. The next slide will be presented by my friend. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Jennifer. The last three digits of your number is 101. Now I'll explain about the clinical manifestation. Middle ear barotrauma is the most common kind of eustachian tube dysfunction. Common symptoms include tinnitus, hearing loss or muffled ear, and pressure or pain in the ears. Symptoms can also manifest as nausea, vertigo, and nystagmus if there is a tympanic membrane rupture. Serous otitis or serous effusion may manifest as the result of pressure rising at the external auditory canal that forces the blood vessels to extrude serum into the interstices and causes inflammation of the middle ear. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Kama Wahyu Widya Santi Sutama. The last digit of my student ID number is 086. Now I'm going to explain about risk factors of middle ear barotrauma. Ear barotrauma specifically arise from imbalance in pressure between the internal ear environment and the external surrounding. Engaging in activities that cause substantial alteration in external pressure carries the potential for ear barotrauma. Barotrauma can occur during scuba diving, depends on depth and the level of diving experience, cumulative number of dives conducted within a single day, and may be induced by excessively rapid descent or ascent. Also, other activities such as air travel, mountain climbing, skiing, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and explosive blasts. Factors that elevate the risk of barotrauma include underlying medical conditions such as asthma, sinusitis, dental abscess, ear-related disorders, syncope, panic disorder, inadequate training, lack of experience, and also dysfunction of eustachian tube. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Hans Tadeu Kristanto in my last digit of ID number of 093. In this presentation, I'm going to explain about the diagnosis of middle ear barotrauma. As ear barotrauma is related to a change of pressure, history of an exposure to a change of ambient pressure to be present, such as history of scuba diving, traveling by airplane, history of trauma or infection. Patient often come with a complaint of sensation of fullness and dullness of the ear and ear discomfort. While doing physical examination, middle ear space effusions, erythema, bleeding of ear tissues, and perforation of tympanic membrane can be found. To evaluate the ear canal and tympanic membrane, otoscopy can be performed. Then the severity of injury can be graded using the TIT classification, modified TIT classification, or O'Neill grading classification. Other examination can be performed, such as Puritan audiometry to assess the hearing loss, or impedance audiometry to assess the eustachian tube dysfunction. That's all from me. The next part will be explained by my friend. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kadep Pramudya Gasakarna and my last three-digit number is 165. And now I will continue the presentation with differential diagnosis of middle ear barotrauma. Differential diagnosis of middle ear barotrauma includes perilymphatic fistula, inner ear barotrauma, and inner ear decompression sickness. The clinical symptoms of inner ear barotrauma is similar to middle ear barotrauma, but often accompanied with more severe symptoms such as vertigo, dizziness, and imbalance. Even though inner ear decompression sickness has a similar symptom to ear barotrauma, the management is differentiated as inner ear decompression sickness requires recompression and hyperbaric oxygen therapy to relieve its symptoms. That's all from me. Thank you, and my friend will continue the presentation.
Om Swastiastu, my name is Immanuel Prisciliagi and the last three digits of my student number is 132. Okay, so now I'm going to explain about the treatment and prognosis of MEBT or middle ear barotrauma. So basically, MEBT is usually a self-limiting disease which is healed on their own. Before giving medical treatment, make sure if it's primary MEBT or secondary one. Prioritize to treat the underlying problems in order to fix MEBT, and if it's primary MEBT, immediately keep patient away from the alternate surrounding pressure to help the patient adapt with the pressure. Use oral gecomestin if necessary to help patients adapt by dilating the eustachian tube. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Anjani Prabandani with last two digits 148. For treatment, it may be necessary to perform an emergency needle myomectomy or immediately place a ventilation tube through the Tiffany membrane if the patient cannot request in emergency state, and antibiotics is necessary if secondary infection occurs.
My name is David Metatadia with the last three-digit number 099. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the prevention of MEBT. So the prevention is to increase the patient education in emphasizing equalization technique, and medical prophylaxis remain controversy. Pretreatment with pseudoephedrine may decrease the risk of barotrauma in adult, yet in children still unclear. However, all those medications still unclear due to its risk of wearing off side effect. And there's the other prevention, such as do not dive in congestion or cold, descend slowly, safely end the dive to avoid other advanced injury, using special earplugs for air travel, go down feet first before dive, and equalize before dive. Okay, maybe it's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Konet Felsha Oden with student number 110, and I'm going to conclude what we have been discussing. So the conclusion is barotrauma affects middle ear during activities like diving, causing issues like bleeding and infections. And there are two common types: descent barotrauma from external pressure and also ascent barotrauma, which can lead to pain and venous embolism. Middle ear barotrauma is linked to eustachian tube dysfunction and symptoms such as tinnitus and hearing loss. Diagnosis includes history, symptoms, and examination, and the treatment varies based on severity from pressure adjustments to surgery. Prevention involves education, medications, and also measures like avoiding congested diving conditions and also using special earplugs. And the differential diagnosis include inner ear barotrauma, inner ear decompression sickness, and each with unique management. The recommendations is also to prioritize advanced diagnostic techniques using precise imaging for middle ear damage assessment, and further research to tailor treatment options and also advanced diagnostic techniques, and then strengthen prevention with educational campaigns and custom fit ear protection, and also investigate genetic and environmental factors in barotrauma susceptibility. Lastly, is to promote interdisciplinary collaboration to advance middle ear barotrauma management. That's it from us. Thank you.